Okay, hey, this is deondreau, and as I mentioned before, I am doing a series about purpose and meaning in life. And so this is going to be part 1, purpose and meaning in life. This is going to be discussing the general purpose of life, and how everyone has access to, experiencing general meaning in life. And this has to do with your universal purpose, and I'm going to discuss 4 universal principles about purpose and meaning in life, or the purpose of life, okay? So, the 4 principles are relating, communicating, experiencing, and expressing. Relating, communicating, experiencing, and expressing. So when we say general, that means overall. Okay, that means the whole, everybody, the entire human population, the general population. You in particular, or your particular assignment is different than everyone else's, but it's like your general, the general summation, or the reasons for your existence, or purpose of your life is going to be similar to other people. So it's going to be close in nature, yet you're distinct and different, unique and original. So we're going to get into that also. But we're just going to touch on relating, communicating, experiencing, and expressing. Alright, so right now I'm going to touch a little bit on relating. Now, you're relating in life, because when you talk about purpose and meaning in life, the object, or the true subject, is life. Okay, the true subject. It may appear that it is purpose or meaning, but the true subject is life. Because if you ask me what is the purpose and what is the meaning of something, but you're going to have to know what is that, what is the something that we're referring to. So it's very important to realize that the most important aspect of what you're trying to figure out is life. So in other words, if you want to know what purpose and meaning of something is, what the purpose and meaning of something is, then you may want to first identify what that thing is. So we're referring to life. So the first thing we need to do is identify what life is. Alright, now we're talking about relating. So in relation to something is how you determine the relationship. Alright, so relating is, how do you relate to life? What is your connection with life? And that's a very important key to the universal principle of purpose and meaning in life. How do you relate to life? So how do you even know how you relate to something that you may not be aware of the identity of the thing? So can you identify life? That's very important, because what life is determines, or your interpretation of what life is, or how your understanding of what life is, determine your relationship to life. And so we need to understand what life is. Alright? Now, you may not be very religious, or you may not be spiritual, or you may not be a Christian, or you may not subscribe to God at all. But until you understand what life is, you'll never be able to experience the truth about purpose and meaning of life. Because if you discount the very thing that you question, meaning the purpose and meaning of life, which is the most important thing, really you're asking, what about life? And if you say that there is no creator for this thing called life, then you discount, or you cancel, the experience or the true meaning of what life is. Alright, now, what life is, and I'm going to do a series of videos about the definition of life. Alright, because you can't, really, when you say what is the meaning of life, you derive meanings from definitions, or definitions to give you the meaning of a thing, right? The definition tells you what a thing means. So you really want to know what life means. Okay? Now, your creator, God, your creator, your source is life, right? He is the source of life. Life comes from your creator. It issues out from him. He expresses life so that you may experience this thing called life. And your experience of this thing called life is going to be a part of your general purpose, okay? Now, we're talking about relating right now. So how do you relate to life? What is your relationship to life? In a general sense, and then we're going to get in a particular sense, a more specific sense later on, all right? So, your general relationship with life is that you are indeed an offspring of life. You are not life. Your purpose in life is not only you and life separate, okay? You're not life, put it like that. Now, God is life. God has life. He's given you life and access to true life in a greater, more intimate, personal way that you can have the relationship that he desires, or that your creator desires for you to have. Now, your source has so much within his presence, within himself, which he calls life. So the identity of your source, or that which is inside your source, the stuff inside him, for lack of a better word, is for you to experience. But that's the general purpose. That's the general idea of your creator. Thus, the general purpose of life is to have an experience and relate. He relays life to you, or your sources life through you. You know, you hear many people talk about the universe and the laws of attraction and the universal laws. Okay, so your creator, who issues the universe, right? He relates himself through life, and you being a part of life have a unique privilege to experience the idea, the mind, the creativity, the imagination, the life, the breath, the love that life gives to you. And that's the general purpose of creation. That's the general purpose of humanity, is to relate that life. So if you relay something, have you ever heard of relaying a message? Or how about if you're familiar with people who run track and they have a baton and they do a relay, and you hand one baton to the next runner and the runner runs so many meters and hands it to the next runner until they finish the race? Well, that's what God does. That's what Source does. That's what life is about. It's about relaying life. So your source, your creator, your God, he relays good things that are within him to you. And guess what? And you relay things that are within you to someone else. And someone else relays something, and you received a relay from someone else. And that's how it is. Everything you see, from a tiny seed that becomes a tree that produces fruit, and then you eat the apple of that fruit, to a baby in a mother's stomach that was once a seed and comes out of the stomach, out of the womb, and becomes a person, and becomes a man or a woman, becomes you. That's a relay. You see, that's the relationship of life. And don't forget, if you're born, that means you're supposed to be here.